A very good Saturday morning to everybody. I hope you guys had a good week and that you're going to enjoy this flight with me this morning. The other guys are obviously downstairs. And guess what? Uncle John's pushed back already. So, yeah, I'm almost ready to go. I'm just waiting for the passengers to load. And then I'll be on my way as well. So, just as a matter of interest, this morning I am using active sky weather.
1808, taxi to point November, runway 27 right, via Alpha 1, Lima 1, and 9.
Oh, that's ATC traffic. Well, traffic. I started the sim and xEnviro is not picking up on any weather. It's like the server is off or something. So we'll wait for them to reset or do whatever they need to do. Then I tried explain real weather. It didn't want to load after clicking the rescan button about 10 times. It loaded up to 90% and then failed right there as well. And then I got tired and then I just switched over to active sky. So this is active sky weather, and hopefully by the time we reach 10,000, we'll have explain weather again. Otherwise, we just switch back to active sky anyway.
Hi, Nico.
Yes, Anthony.
Tayo's updated arrival to 16.
I'll say, thank you, hoor.
Okay.
Yeah, we were discussing this whole ATIS situation this morning because what happens when the ATC guys come online, they obviously broadcast whatever they had in the previous session, and then it takes them a few minutes to just settle and make up their mind where they want to change the weather and, well, we'll update the weather and then change the runways to. So I'm glad that's sorted now. I think I'm going to have to redo my planning on my pushback. Now that I'm looking at this while we're waiting, I might as well do that. See? I read it wrong. Hey Alex, goeiemôre.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
No worries, mate. I understand. You do what you need to do, but it's nice of you to come and say hello quickly.
Hannover traffic from 459, ready 60 start, on stand 11. Facing west.
Hey Jet Power.
You're on stand 5 Alpha, push and start, facing west.
Yeah, I'm doing actually well. I'm sitting here yawning as if I didn't have a good night's sleep, and I don't know why. I think it's now stress relief after the last week's work. You know, it was a very busy week. So, yeah, excuse me if you do hear me yawn, but otherwise I'm okay. How are you guys doing? Are you all right? Hello, Andre.
Goeiemôre, hoe gaan dit?
Okay, jy?
Laag laat, dankie.
Welkom.
Dankie.
Hello, Christer. That's 100%. Before start procedure.
Before start procedure.
Prepare for departure, cross check and all call, thank you.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Ground to cockpit. Toes driving up.
Oh my goodness, you're having issues.
Before start procedure complete.
Well, I tell you, I had a funny yesterday. I opened my X-Plane. I was preparing some of these flights, and the next moment, my right-hand 23-inch screen just died. And I unplugged it, replugged it, nothing worked. Then I was forced, I thought in my mind, obviously, reload the drivers, got the latest NVidia drivers. I did update the show notes as well, and it magically started again. This morning, I switched on the machine, first thing that dies, that screen. So I think my screen is busy dying. Must just last a little while longer. I'll get another one.
Hannover traffic, Skymatix 04, taxi to holding point, runway 27 right by Lima and Mike.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Well, these screens are probably more than 10 years old. So in all honesty, they've given me good service, Jet Power. I can't complain about the service I got from them. They're probably closer to like 15 years in age, because as far as I know, I got them after we moved into this house, and we've been here 15 years. So it was shortly after that, so give or take a year, maybe 15, Yes, I did lose one of the screens 2 months ago. I think it was 2 months ago. I lost one of them. Remember, I've got 5 screens.
Inserted. Release parking brake.
Now I'm trying to shut over this guy. I've got 5 screens, right? And so 3 of them are 23-inch screens. And the one did die about 2 months ago. I had to replace one. Looks like the next one is going. 10, 15 years service, not bad. Let's see. Yeah, we're not going to bother anybody if we do our pushback over
Starting
here.
pushback, and you may start the engines.
Start number 2 engine.
Starting number 2 engine. $25 and 2. Starter cutout.
Start number 1 engine.
Starting number 1 engine.
25N2.
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
The XP is passed.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Ready for before start checklist. Starter cutout. Engine start procedure complete. Trim up. Ready for before taxi procedure.
Tower is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. I'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Before taxi procedure.
Before taxi procedure.
I need that one. That's nice to have.
Before taxi procedure complete. I am ready for before taxi checklist.
Don't see anybody left. Looks like it's me. Hello, Gilbert.
Hannover, traffic, Skymatix 04, line open, take off runway 27 right.
Then as the traffic disconnect, right, continue traffic. Runway 27 right, fire mark. Straight. Another traffic, Skymatix 6459, line up on white from white 271.
Cabin crew,
Approaching
take your seats, prepare for takeoff.
Right, let's just set the parking brake. Guys, while we are sitting here, I just want to mention something to you. I'm not here to give instruction. If my video title doesn't say tutorial, then I'm here to relax and enjoy myself. You know, then I don't concentrate as I should. I obviously am streaming, I'm talking to you guys, I'm sometimes talking to guys on Discord. Sometimes I even venture off into Messenger because people are messaging me. You know, you understand. My attention is not here, and I'm not trying to teach you how to fly like me when it's not a tutorial. So just bear that in mind. If I fly too fast or too slow or too high or too low or whatever, it's because I'm just sitting back, I'm relaxing, I'm just enjoying myself. Okay, so please don't try and educate me, don't try and point out my failures. It's bad form. It's actually annoying. If you don't know me, get to know me. If you don't know who I am, find out who I am. You know, go watch some of my tutorials. You'll see a totally different thing. But please don't come and what here on my channel, please. Okay, I'm asking you guys nicely. I'm here to sit and relax and enjoy the fruits of my labor as well. You know, so I'm just putting it out there. Somebody did try and do that with me in the week, and it's weird, man. It's nah.
Lining up runway 27 line, holding for traffic.
Yeah, I know the people that know me understand me. Every now and then there's a new guy that comes around that obviously isn't on the same page, you know, and as I always say, rather ask than put down a hammer immediately, you know. I mean, ask questions. There are ways of handling a situation. Right, so now I'm just waiting for Anthony. Hello, Jerry. How are you doing, buddy? Exactly. Or when I barrel roll like an Afrikaner, you know, or do something stupid. It happens, you know. My concentration isn't 100% just that flying when I'm streaming. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. It's the nature of the beast. When I do a tutorial, I spend a week or two making a video and there's absolutely nobody bothering me, you know, and there's no reason to go on to Messenger or to talk to anybody or to scream at the dogs because they're barking, you know. It's a different ball game.
You know, the traffic information is taking off runway 27 left.
Yeah, I know, Christer. We all do that. We all say that is how it is. I'm just saying, you know, every now and then there's a new kid on the block. You know, it's typical social media. People don't know anything, and then they come and just talk nonsense on the channel, you know, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, I was being nice." But anyway, I'm just saying, I don't want to make a big deal of it. I'm just saying, it's something to think about before you say something. Get your facts straight, you know, understand who you're talking to, because it can be insulting and it can be very definitely annoying. Yeah, you know, screen names, things like that, keyboard warriors. You know, and the worst part is the person, whoever it is, could actually be a very nice person. You know, you don't know if it's a male or female, an old man, a child. You don't know anything about the people. And it could be a very nice person, but you know, if you immediately come gunning, it's weird. Exactly, Alex. Anyway, I better start my timer. Otherwise, I'm going to get stuck here. Let's get going. Yeah, you see, the thing is, if even in this situation, you know, I've had to go back and forth 2 or 3 times. I don't even feel like doing that, you know, but you get into a situation where you feel like, maybe I should. And then you go and say something. And then the guy comes back, person comes back, says, oh, this, and then that, then that.
Starting to 3,300 on the departure, last call.
Anyway. Okay, so for the guys joining late, just to recap quickly, I'm using Active Sky up to 10,000, and then I'm bargaining. I'm hoping that the explain real world weather will actually work, because earlier this morning it just didn't. It refused. So normal operation, obviously, is I start up with xEnviro, and for some reason I don't get any feed from the servers. So, and I haven't had time to log a ticket for that one, but there's no feed coming through. Then I went to explain real weather. I tried like multiple times, 5 times or so, to click the button to rescan. Eventually it went up to like 90% after refusing point blank to load anything. And that left me with Active Sky. So here's hoping. If it doesn't produce weather, if there is no weather above 10,000, I'll just take the hybrid setting off Active Sky and fly Active Sky all the way, you know, make sure that we have weather. Before takeoff procedure.
Before takeoff procedure. Before takeoff procedure complete.
Alex, I think most
Ready
people
for before
were
takeoff
taught that.
checklist.
At least where I come from, that's how we were raised as well. Which is probably why it's bothering me when, you know, stuff like this happens. Okay, I'm glad I mentioned that. Yeah, good. Hannover traffic Skymatix 001 taking off runway 27 right.
Stabilized.
Approaching 27 right.
Runway 27 right confirm.
On runway 27 right.
And TOGA. Let's go.
Takeoff thrust set. knots. Throttle hold. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Acceleration altitude.
I haven't played with the color correction in Map Enhancement, by the way, and I think we've all mentioned this already. It's a bit washed out like this. So when I've got time, I'll just go and sit and fiddle with the color correction, see if that's possible to make it look better. But overall, I'm very happy with this. It's a very nice addition to X-Plane now. Changes the whole scenery. I obviously have to reduce my graphics sliders a little bit when I'm flying in Europe because there's just too much happening and the 8 gig VRAM just doesn't cut it always.
Flaps 1 set.
You know, so that also makes it look weird because there's no trees and buildings as it should be.
Approaching transition. Flaps up and set. Transition altitude.
Yeah, I can't complain. I mean, it's way better than the default. Just mentioning, I did see in the little app there is provision for color sliders and things. As a matter of interest, our tower is no longer online. Yes, Vienna, there is no tower.
Flight level 100. Landing lights switches off.
Wow, that looked bad. Yeah, much better. Okay, so now I'm sitting and I'm wondering, you see, we're above 10,000 now, and there's no clouds. Just bear with me. Let's see what's happening with the weather here. Okay, so it did do an update. All right. Let's ride it out a little while. If we see it doesn't look nice a little further on, we can check the weather again. Then we'll just switch to active sky and get it over with. It did. It did. It did look a bit bad. You know what? Now I've just made myself curious. I want to quickly set this to run on active sky instead of real world weather. Let's see if we can actually do it like this. Where is this thing? And options. Hybrid. And refresh weather. Let's see if it actually will allow me to switch. Oh, there's clouds immediately. Okay. Check this. Manual. Yeah, it's set itself back now. Right, let's keep it on active sky then. I like my clouds. Then we can see some fluffy stuff. Hello, Marius. Oh no, that's easy. That's easy. I'm gonna stop there. I'll level out at 33 and then we'll climb up to 35. I'll show you. So if we did the climb initially just up to 33, the actual overhead pressurization would be set to 33. Okay, now, then let's quickly go back to the chat. Step down. No. I use WXR on the left and I use terrain on the right. And it switches. Let's say, for instance, I go fly in the mountains somewhere like Paro in Bhutan, you know, or somewhere in South America, wherever there's mountains, then I would change the two around. So that one will become WXR, this one will become terrain. If there is no visible weather problems, then they both go to terrain. Right, okay, so to do a step climb, there are a couple of requirements. And the big thing now is I'm going to show you how I do it with my configuration. For those of you that are not aware, if you go in here and you start setting things here in your settings, you can literally recreate and set up a 737-800 from 1995-96 generation right up to the current U14.1 generation. Okay, so depending on what you set over here, you will either have the facility that I have or you will not have the facility. So what I'm saying is my procedure is for everything set up the way I did it here to match the newer generation 737s. If you have a buddy working or flying for an airline and they've got NGs coming from 2005 or 2010, they are more than likely going to do things slightly differently because they do not have the facilities that the newer generation NGs have. Okay, so bear that in mind. My one is set to match the newer generation aircraft. All right, you can even see it in my FMC. I'm using the A2, the new generation FMC. It does not look like PMDG or the Level Up or the other older generation FMCs. It's a new version. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's very easy. And I'm just going to let it settle there quickly and then we'll climb to 35. All right, so currently you can see it's obviously reporting we haven't reached the top of climb yet because in the FMC I said 35, but let's do the step climb. So the very first thing I do is I go and set my new altitude, 350. Then I go 350 over here. And then I press level change. Or altitude intervent, I beg your pardon. Sorry, I said wrong. I press the altitude intervent button, that one. So the moment you press that one, you'll see your engine spool up. And there you go, you climb. See? So that's what you do. You set your altitude, you set your overhead for the pressurization, then you press alt intervent. Some of the older NGs does not have alt intervent. They don't have it. So you can't press it. It's not there. You know, so there are different ways of doing that. Good morning, Neil. Welcome. No, the way we do it now is it will automatically set the FMC for you. See, if I go to climb page there, it set it already.
1000 to level off.
Obviously, in the older generations, you would have to set it over here. In the older generation, I would actually start here. I would put it here first, execute it, and then do my settings and let it climb on WinNav. Yeah, it's very easy. Set the altitude, set the overhead for pressurization so you don't kill yourself, press Alt intervent. Yep, exactly, Christer. Yeah, you mean these little things, those UFO things. I remember that. Yeah, I think we must just show Zibo. Now that you've mentioned it, I mean, I didn't have it at the time because we did the test, but it wasn't the same test. So now we can see those ones. Yeah, I'll mention it to Zibo when I speak to him next time. Yeah, no, well, the moment you've got traffic enabled, if you fly online, whether it's VATSIM or Avaya, you will always see the traffic. If you've got the AI traffic add-on, you'll also see them, but you have to have the traffic on. Yeah, I'll remind him, Christer. You know what he's like. He gets busy and then, you know, if there isn't a note somewhere, he forgets about it. Yeah. What do you mean not as in traffic? Clearly different. There shouldn't be any difference. That is the way those diamonds display is the way it should be. If there's a difference, then you need to maybe look at the client that's injecting the information. But the diamonds is real. That is not real that we saw just now. Those little flying saucer things, that needs to be removed. Okay, I'm going to say some additional diamonds. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, we'll have to wait till Zibo comes back, then we'll chat with him, see what he says. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Just remember the Discord forum is just, it's community based, right? Zibo doesn't necessarily look at it unless I tell him to go look there or ask him, you know, to go look there. So the official forum on the org is still the best place to tag him. You know, go in there, tag Zibo so that he can make a note of it. But we'll get to it. He must just come back. He's just too busy right now. So when he's back, we'll sort out the niggly little stuff. There's been a lot of changes in X-Plane that will have to be looked at and adjusted in the Zibomod anyway. So there's lots of work waiting for him. I better start looking at setting up. Okay, there is no ATC. Let's quickly jump into this. Awesome, thank you. Right. These minima courses, my primary flight display is set. Everybody's happy. We've got minimum set. There we go.
Hi Nico.
Yes.
Daai minimum set wat jy nou net genoem het, waar kry jy daai minimums vandaan?
797, daai ene.
Dis reg.
Dit ja, so op die chart. Let me get it on screen, I'll show you. So the question is, where did I get the minimums? And just give me a second. I can get everybody on board. Wrong button. Wrong button. To share the application. Alright, and then I want to share my screen display capture. There you go. Right, so Andre, if you look at the chart, this is the chart for the airport over here, 797. This is your minimum, 797.
Okay,
Chop. It's on the forum. Give me a second, I'll get you a link. It's on the forum. There you go. Hi Vaughan, good morning. All good in here? Excellent. I'm actually facing a bit of a challenge all of a sudden. I'm trying to negotiate out of it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to win. My daughter is at school and I need to go and fetch her. Now I'm looking at the FMC time. I'll land at, what's that, 9:36? That's 11:36 local time. I need to get there at 12. Yeah, there's enough time to be able to do that. You might have to wait for me for 2 minutes, but anyway. I'll keep the speed up, see if we can maybe... Oh, you know what? We can actually do quite a few things. But then I'm going to disconnect from Ivea. Otherwise, I'm going to interfere with everybody else. What we want to do is cut out the extra track miles. There's a lot of extra track miles we can get rid of. 673, WW 673. Right, we can just go straight. There. Right, that brought the top of descent closer as well. Morning, Erkebus. Yeah, no, I'm going to eat the afterburner, but I've cut out, I'll show you guys now, I've cut out the whole S structure here. See that zigzag over there is now gone. So what I'm going to do is from there, I'm just going to go straight there, diagonally across, cut out that whole section. Then let's see. You see, look, 10 minutes or so I cut off. Maybe a little less, but you get the idea. I think it's about 7 minutes there. You can't see it. Sorry. Yeah, I cut about 7 minutes off.
Takeoff was great. We will see your landing. Approach top of descent.
Christopher, I was talking to my son in the background, and you mentioned this now. I'm glad you did. Thank you. I didn't even think about it. There we go. Nothing like teamwork so early on a Saturday morning, I tell you. Well, you did good for me, yeah, because I honestly I didn't even think about it because I'm, again, like I said earlier, I'm multitasking. I'm not making a tutorial and then I don't think of things like this. Absolutely a nice move, man. Very nice. Vaughn, Zibo, there's, I think, three reasons. First of all, he's busy at work, very busy at work, just like me. I mean, we were talking about it this morning, me and Uncle John. I cannot tell how busy I was in the last 2 months myself, so time's limited. Then we have families, and then the third reason is I don't think it's productive to chase our tails right now. Until Laminar settles the development of 1.2, whatever this version of X-Plane is. I think I caught myself there speaking too quickly. Let me just check the version. Where's this thing? Yeah, it's 12.2.0, right? So 12.2.0, obviously we're at beta 5 now, something like that. And it's introduced changes that needs addressing in the Zibomod. Now, if we change anything now, if Zibo or Twixter or so to come and change anything right now, and Laminar decides with the new beta that comes out, let's call it beta 6 or 7, as you hear, I'm not sure where we are right now, right? So then they change it. What do we do then? Now we have to go either undo or write additional code to suppress what we just did. It's kind of stupid, and I think it's a very good time for everybody to have taken a break, because when you come back, change is as good as a holiday. Then there's going to be lots of things to do to fix up again and to get going. So I think it makes perfect business sense in commerce that we just relax a little bit. If the Zibomod was like some other models of aircraft, which is not important, we're not going to mention them, but there are other models, and obviously they pay with, that completely run outside of X-Plane, that isn't affected so much, just a little bit, maybe not even a bit. We don't know because they're running outside. it would have been a different story. But a lot of Zibo stuff is still linked to laminar in some form of way, you know. So, I mean, you will know how it started. This aircraft was built on the default 738, and then it started to evolve. And as time goes by, Zibo removes more laminar code, puts more Zibo code in, and then Twixtor does the flight modeling and so on. And unfortunately, it's not freestanding like some other aircraft are. So it tends to get influenced by certain things that happens. You know, that's just how it is. That could very well be true, Krister.
Command Circle, low traffic, on approach, the runway 16. Currently 22 miles out. Command Circle. Fully established for my big time.
Ach nee. No man. That doesn't help. So, X-plane crashed. Wonder what would have caused that. Oh, the Zibomod caused it. Well, it says the application has crashed because of plugin Zibomod. Ah, okay, odd controls modified. I don't think Zibo's got anything to do with odd controls modified, but anyway. Oops. Yeah, it is. But guys, under the circumstances, me having to run, it's going to take too long to reload everything. So I do apologize, but I'm not even going to try right now, unfortunately. I need to go fetch my daughter, and I was already under time constraints, which was fair enough, but this is just going to push it over the limit. So I don't know. Let's see. Maybe tonight I can do maybe a follow-up stream, see if we can fix it or something. I don't know. Yeah, apologies. I'm sorry. Huh. You're welcome, Krista. Listen, if I don't make it tonight, I can't promise I will, but if I don't make it, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and then hopefully it's better. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for your support. We'll talk later.